Hi, my name is Tomasz and you're watching Casual DIY channel. In today's video I will be making a super simple attachment for the Evolution Rage 5S so we can actually accommodate a router with this table saw. Check out the video. Okay, so today's video, just a super simple way of transforming or adding features to your table saw Rage 5S by adding the router. However, next week I'm actually going to show you a very advanced version of this add-on to the table saw where we're actually going to create a really nice fence with dust extraction, and it's going to be more of a permanent solution for a more powerful router that you will be able to attach to this table saw with no issues. So then hopefully you'll be able to decide for yourself which solution is better for you. The quick one that we're going to do today, or the more advanced one that I'm going to show you next week. Okay, so we are looking at the right hand side of the table saw. You got the lever there to unlock this side panel here. And that's what we're going to be working with. I'm actually going to be attaching a Katsu trim route for this, as it is quick, fast and easy solution in this particular case. Okay, but we still want to use a fence, and we're going to use the original fence that comes with the saw itself. So we need to look at a couple of things here. First of all, let's have a look at the fence so we know exactly what we need. So as you can see on this side, the fence is more or less probably about half a centimeter away from the edge of the ruler here. So to be fair, I want to leave it in peace. I'm not going to mess around on this side. On the back of the fence, as you can see, it still slides on the runner, but we've got far more space here to use that ledge to our advantage. I would say there's at least 1 centimeter of the runner that we can use to be a ledge. We can actually put our base onto this side with no problems at all. For my project, I'm going to be using the 18mm plywood that will be just perfect for this job, and I'm just measuring the distance of the board that I actually need. And in my case, I would say 65 centimeters would be absolutely perfect. So I'm just measuring the required amount of MDF for this particular project. I'm just going to be using my table saw to make the cut as well. Always remember to wear a mask, a respirator of some sort when dealing with MDF, as the particles of the dust are really nasty. I'm just using my calipers to measure the distance from the tabletop to the runners itself, and that came out as 14mm. My MDF board is 18mm in thickness, and on one side I wanted to rest on the aluminium runner, and the distance from the runner to the tabletop is 14mm, hence I need to take off 4mm to make that ledge. Now I'm just giving it a quick sand to get rid of any marks from the blade. We're also going to need 3 strips of MDF, or actually any other material would be much better, like plywood or even hardwood. The size of them need to be 28mm by 18mm, and the length obviously the size of the board itself. As I said, any other material for this particular case would be far better, as MDF is prone to, well, splitting really, and it's not the best way to do it. I just didn't want to invest or waste any other material that I've got in my workshop. It's just proof of concept to show you how it could be done. But yeah, definitely use something else as the strips. MDF is not the way to go in this case. So one piece is glued to one of the sides, and I'm obviously pre-drilling and screwing that in. On the other side I'm using 2 strips next to each other, but obviously you can use anything else that's wide enough for the toggle clamps to be attached to. On the other side, I'm just marking up to offer a piece of MDF that's 17 millimeters in thickness by 18 millimeters, and obviously the length is the same as the board. Now 17 millimeters is just perfect to go into a space that's located in the aluminium profile on which the fence rides on the saw. So the mounting of the tabletop for the router is very simple. On one side it will lean on top of the aluminium profile at the back of the machine, and at the front it will actually slot into the void that's in the aluminium profile of the table saw, like so. And by doing that, we've got a nice and steady base. But from one side, the tabletop for the router will still lift like that. So the toggle clamps will come in assistance to make sure the tabletop for the router is solid and secure on the saw itself, and will have no issues in changing the bits or taking out or in the router. It will not lift, it will stay in place. And now I'm just trying to find the best place for the router, so marking the board, pre-drilling the holes for the bolts to attach the router base. Make sure to attach your router to the table in the correct way, that when you're going to be using, you're not going to be making climbing cuts. So the way it spins, it needs to be correct. So think about the layout of your router on the table. Now I'm just using a Forstner bit to create the hole for the router bits. This one in particular is 35 millimeters. Now I can attach the base of the router, and as you can see it actually does have a dust extraction attachment, so hopefully it will not create as much dust. And now it's time to install the toggle clamps that will secure the whole router table to the saw structure. So you will have no issues when changing bits or changing the height of your router bit. And now it's time to install the router table in the saw itself. It's a very simple and easy process, and you can attach and detach it in a matter of seconds. And there you go, fully operational router table that is part of your table saw. How cool is that? Now we're actually going to be using the table saw's fence. It works absolutely fine with the router table attachment. Right then, so as you can see, it's a really simple project that you probably could do in an hour's time if you need a quick router table. And for example, you've got Evolution Rage 5S, where this router fits absolutely perfectly. It does the job just fine. You can use the fence that originally comes with the saw. As mentioned in my video, MDF is definitely not the best material. Maybe for the top, yes, that's fine. But for the pieces underneath, definitely get at least plywood, hardwood, anything like that. As I know for a fact, those strips underneath will give way eventually. But at this stage, I just don't have the material, and I don't really want to sacrifice my material for this particular project. I just wanted to show you how easily it can actually be done. So if you decide to go for this basic version, the super simple router table attachment to the table saw, I would definitely use something else. The top, yes, MDF, that probably will be fine, but definitely the strips, go for something else, as that will give way, as I mentioned before, sooner than later. But this video and this particular project was just prove a concept that it actually can work with no major issues. Now in version 2, I will put a more powerful router here, so there will be more weight to it. Also, there will be a proper fence with dust extraction as well. So there are some issues that we're going to come across when building this, i.e. the weight of it, especially as we don't want to damage this saw, the runners, anything like that. And it needs to work as a table saw with no problems as well. So just wait for version 2. Hopefully it will be out next week. But if you need a quick, simple and cheap solution for a router table, this could be it. But for today guys, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.